not just work hard, they live and breathe their craft. They do not see their work as something separate from their life. It becomes their identity. Many people fail because they are only interested in success, but not obsessed with it. Interest leads to temporary effort, while obsession leads to relentless action. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the level of commitment. Those who truly want something will go to any length to get it. They will wake up earlier, stay up later, and do things that others are not willing to do. They will ignore distractions, cut off negativity, and push forward even when faced with criticism. The world does not reward average efforts. It rewards those who give everything they have. Obsession is not something to be feared. It is a tool that must be embraced. People who fear being obsessed are the ones who will always struggle to achieve big things. The idea of balance and moderation is what holds most people back. Those who want to make a real impact cannot afford to be distracted by what others think is normal. They have to be willing to go all in. Instead of trying to suppress obsession, it should be controlled and directed towards meaningful goals. When energy is focused on productive activities, obsession becomes a powerful force that creates unstoppable momentum. It is important to surround oneself
Morning, morning,
with
morning, morning.
individuals who encourage big thinking,
We've
not
moved a
those who
lot
try to
today
hold back
already.
ambition. Doubters and naysayers will always exist, but their opinions do
Already at
not matter.
points.
What matters is taking action every single day,
I want to see if
staying
we can
committed
run out
no
this
matter
load.
what, and refusing to accept anything less than success. The biggest mistake people make is treating their goals like hobbies. If something is truly important, it must become the center of focus. There is no room for excuses, hesitation, or distractions. Every moment must be used wisely. Every opportunity must be taken, and every setback must be turned into fuel for more action. The world belongs to those who refuse to slow down, those who push themselves beyond limits, and those who stay obsessed until they win. Chapter 13: Go all in and overcommit. Going all in and overcommitting is necessary for achieving massive success. Playing it safe or taking a cautious approach leads to average results at best. When fully committing to something, it creates urgency, forces creativity, and eliminates distractions. Overcommitting means taking on more than what seems comfortable or reasonable, because doing so pushes limits and reveals untapped potential. Most people hesitate to take on big challenges out of fear. Fear of failure, fear of overworking, or fear of not meeting expectations. These fears keep them stuck in mediocrity, never pushing beyond what they already know. However, by overcommitting, it becomes impossible to remain in the same place. The need to deliver forces new levels of action and problem solving. Overcommitting means
Probably
saying
gonna
yes to
wait for the first
opportunities even before knowing exactly
um
how they will be accomplished.
first five
The
minutes.
belief that everything needs to be perfectly planned before starting is a major reason why people never take the necessary steps toward success. When taking on more than what seems manageable, it creates a natural drive to figure things out along the way. This leads to resourcefulness and growth. When facing challenges that seem bigger than personal capacity, it forces an expansion of skills, knowledge, and effort. Every major achievement in history has come from individuals or companies that committed to goals beyond their
It's greater
immediate
equal
abilities.
load now.
They figured out the details after making the decision to go all in. Taking massive action in response to commitments separates
So I
the
want us to run
successful
out the
from the
load first, man.
unsuccessful.
Just run it
Many
out.
people make promises, but fail to follow through with the
Weekly
level of action
SMT
needed to fulfill them.
plus
They
daily
become
SMT plus
overwhelmed or discouraged and back out before making
not
real
30
progress.
SMT.
This is why most businesses fail
What's
within the
your
first
idea?
few
Are you
years.
bullish or bearish then?
Owners do not commit at a level that guarantees survival and growth. Overcommitting, when paired with relentless execution, ensures success because it removes any option of retreat. There is no room for hesitation or second guessing. Instead of being cautious, a person who is all in finds a way to make things happen. Waiting for the perfect moment is
Okay.
another trap that prevents people from fully committing. There is never a perfect time to start something big. If waiting for all conditions to be ideal, opportunities will be missed and progress will be delayed indefinitely. Conditions will never be fully predictable, and unexpected challenges will always arise. The key is to move forward regardless of uncertainties and trust that solutions will appear along
If
the
we
way.
flip bearish,
The most successful
bullish, I'm going
people
to
in
buy the
any
open.
industry did not start with perfect conditions. They took on more than they were prepared for, figured it out as they went, and adjusted their approach as needed. Overcommitting also builds confidence. Many people lack confidence because they only take on what they know they can handle. This approach keeps them in a cycle of small wins that do not lead to significant success. By committing to something bigger than what feels possible,
Traded into the
they
fair
prove to
value gap now.
themselves that they are capable of much more. Each time a
Trading out.
difficult challenge is conquered, it builds a stronger belief in personal abilities. This confidence leads to even bigger commitments, which then lead to even greater achievements. Those who achieve great things
So
are the ones who go
I'd like us to
beyond
create this
normal levels of
fair value
effort
gap
and
first.
commitment. They take on challenges that others avoid and push forward even when it feels overwhelming. By doing more than what seems possible, they expand their capacity and discover new ways to succeed. Overcommitting forces growth, removes hesitation, and creates unstoppable momentum. Instead of waiting for the right time or feeling fully ready, stepping up, saying yes, and figuring out the details later leads to levels of success that would never be reached otherwise. Chapter 14: Expand, Never Contract. Expanding is the only way to survive and thrive. The moment action slows down, problems begin to appear. A business or individual that stops growing is actually moving backward, even if it seems like they're staying the same. The world does not remain constant, and those who do not push forward will find themselves left behind. Many people believe that when challenges arise, the best response is to pull back and conserve resources. This is the biggest mistake anyone can make. The correct response is always to push harder, increase efforts, and take more action than ever before. History proves that contraction never leads to success. Companies that try to save themselves by cutting costs, reducing staff, or limiting their efforts often end up collapsing. Those that refuse to shrink, even during difficult times, not only survive but grow stronger. When economic downturns happen, most businesses react by scaling down. But the ones that push forward, advertise more, reach out to more customers, and increase their presence take over the space left by those who gave up. The world rewards those who expand, not those who retreat. Most people are conditioned to believe that security comes from playing it safe. They are taught that when things get tough, they should slow down, protect what they have, and wait for a better time. This is completely wrong. Real security comes from taking massive action and creating so much momentum that nothing can stop it. The people who succeed in life are the ones who refuse to accept limitations and continuously look for ways to grow, no matter what is happening around them. A mindset focused on expansion brings more energy, opportunities, and success. When someone wakes up every day with the goal of doing more than they did yesterday, they naturally become stronger, smarter, and more skilled. On the other hand, when they start thinking about reducing efforts, they lose motivation, lower their standards, and weaken their potential. Every moment spent thinking about cutting back is a moment that could have been used to move forward. Every major breakthrough in history came from an individual or group that refused to contract
Looking
or
to add
quit.
another position
They
right
saw
here.
opportunities when others
But
saw
let me
risks.
see how this
They
can be
acted when others hesitated.
plays
While the
out first.
majority of people waited for conditions to improve, these individuals created their own success by expanding beyond their current limits. It is not intelligence, luck, or talent that separates winners from losers. It is the decision to keep growing, no
Ooh, I
matter
missed
what.
my re-entry.
The strategy of always expanding applies to every area of life. In business, it means
Now,
constantly reaching more customers, developing better products, and increasing visibility. In personal life, it means learning new skills, meeting new people, and taking on new challenges. In finances, it means increasing income streams instead of cutting expenses. The goal should always be to find ways to do more, not less. Those who refuse to shrink their efforts will always have more choices, more resources, and more power over their future. Taking action at 10 times the normal level is the safest way to operate. Most people only do what they think is necessary, and they end up disappointed when results do not meet expectations. But those who take massive action, even when it seems unnecessary, build such a strong foundation that they can handle any setback. Expansion
I
creates
over
momentum,
hesitated on my
and
re-entry. I
momentum leads to success.
could have got a
The
re-entry
only
right
real
there.
risk in life is doing too little. There is never a downside to taking too much action, but there is always a cost to taking too little. Those who embrace expansion as a way of life will always stand out. They will achieve what others only dream of. They will dominate in their fields and become examples of what is possible. While others complain about bad conditions, those who focus on growth will continue moving forward, making an impact and achieving their biggest goals. Chapter 15: Burn the Place Down. Success demands complete commitment, not partial effort. The only way to ensure progress is to remove any option of retreat. When people keep backup plans, they allow themselves an escape from the hard work required to reach their goals. The safest approach is not playing it safe, but going all in without hesitation. When people hesitate, they leave room for failure. The most successful individuals throughout history have been those who eliminated any possibility of turning back. They pushed forward with a mindset that there was no alternative but to succeed. This kind of determination forces people to find solutions, adapt, and push beyond their limits. When there is no backup plan, there is no distraction. Every bit of energy is focused on making success happen.
We don't
Playing it
want players
safe may
coming back
seem
to
like
the
the right
midpoint.
approach, but
We
it
just want
often leads to
expansion now.
mediocrity. People who keep one foot in and one foot out never fully commit. They take fewer risks, put in less effort, and are more likely to give up at the first sign of difficulty.
This
The
could be
only
the
way to
low of the
break
day,
past limitations is to remove
right
safety
there.
nets and make winning the only option. Most people settle for average because they allow themselves to. They justify their lack of results with excuses about time, resources, or external conditions. But those who truly succeed do not allow themselves these excuses. They work with what they have, make bold decisions, and do whatever it takes to reach their targets. A powerful example is seen in those who relocate to a new city with no job, no contacts, and no option to return home. They have no choice but to find a way to make it work. Because of this pressure, they take action at a level most people never reach. This is why people who move with no backup plan often
One
become the
minute fair
most
value gap
driven
right
and
there.
successful. When there is no safety net, survival instincts take over, and people do what is necessary instead of what is comfortable. Hesitation kills momentum. The more time spent considering options, the less energy is used for action. Great achievements come from massive, consistent effort, not from constantly reevaluating whether something is worth pursuing. People who burn the bridges behind them force themselves to keep moving forward. They do not allow themselves the luxury of second guessing their decisions. Even in business, the most successful individuals are those who act with absolute certainty. They do not just test an idea cautiously. They go all in, making sure they do everything possible to dominate their
We
industry.
close back
This
above the
level of
midpoint.
commitment
I'm gonna add
is what
another position.
separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. The greatest mistake is believing there is still time. Those who achieve remarkable success do so because they act with urgency. They understand that every moment spent waiting or preparing is a moment lost. The only way to create extraordinary results is to take action immediately and eliminate any possibility of turning back. The lesson is simple. Complete commitment is the only way to reach extraordinary levels of success. Removing all safety nets forces people to find a way to win. When there is no alternative, action becomes natural and results become inevitable. Chapter 16: Fear is the great indicator. Fear is a natural part of life,
Need to see
but
this
it is
candle
often misunderstood.
reject.
Most people see fear as a warning sign that they should stop or turn back. But in reality, fear is a signal to move forward. It appears when stepping into new territory, taking risks, or attempting something bigger than ever before. The feeling of fear means that an important action is being taken, something that has the potential to bring great success. Fear should not be avoided. Avoiding fear leads to a life of hesitation, missed opportunities, and regret. Instead of running away, fear should be embraced and used as a guide. The things that cause fear are usually the very things that must be done. If there is fear about making a call, giving a presentation, or making a big decision, then that is exactly what should be acted upon. Fear is a sign of growth and expansion. The more something is feared, the more necessary it is to do it. Successful people do not have less fear than others. They simply act despite feeling it. They understand that fear loses its power when action is taken. The longer fear is allowed to sit in the mind, the stronger it becomes. Thinking about fear only magnifies it. The only way to weaken fear is by moving forward quickly. The moment an action is taken, fear starts to disappear. The mistake that many people make is waiting for fear to go away before taking action. That never
That
happens.
that's not
Fear
flipping,
does
man.
not disappear on its own. It must be conquered through action. Waiting leads to overthinking, which creates even more fear. This is why hesitation is dangerous. The longer a person waits, the harder it becomes to take action. Fear feeds on inaction, but action destroys fear. People often confuse fear with danger. They think that feeling afraid means something bad will happen. But most fears are not based on real danger. Fear of rejection, fear of embarrassment,
I'm gonna
fear of
close
failure.
that.
These are not life threatening. They are mental obstacles, not real threats. The biggest risk in life is not taking risks. The real danger is staying the same, never growing, and never reaching full potential. To use fear as a tool for success, it must be followed. Instead of avoiding what is feared, lean into it. If making a difficult phone call causes fear, dial the number immediately. If public speaking causes fear, volunteer for the next speech. If launching a new business idea is scary, start working on it today. Fear marks the path to success. The most successful people are those who have learned to recognize fear as a guide. There is a simple rule to remember. The more something is feared, the more important it is to take action. Fear highlights the areas where growth is needed the most. It shows where confidence needs to be built. Instead of seeing fear as something negative, see it as an indicator of the next step. Fear also brings energy. It causes the heart to race, the mind to sharpen, and the body to become alert. Instead of letting this energy turn into panic, it should be redirected into action. The energy of fear can be used to move forward faster, speak with more power, and take bold steps. Fear is a gift. It is the compass that points in the right direction. It reveals what must be done. Those who follow their fears will always be ahead of those who let fear control them. Every great achievement has fear behind it. Fear is not the enemy. It is the sign of something great waiting to be achieved. Chapter 17: The Myth of Time Management. Time management is a myth because the real issue is not about managing time, but about managing oneself. There is no shortage of time. The problem is how people use it. People often say they don't have enough time to accomplish their goals, but in reality, they are not making the best use of the time available to them. The key is to shift focus from trying to control time to increasing actions and productivity. Most people operate with the mindset that time should be divided carefully to balance work and personal life, but this leads to limitations and restricted growth. Instead of trying to allocate time perfectly, one must learn how to make better use of every moment. The idea that there is not enough time is just an excuse. There are countless examples of people who have achieved massive success despite having the same number of hours in a day as everyone else. The difference lies in how they approach their tasks. Those who succeed at high levels never think about time as a limited resource. They think about how much action they can take within the time they have. Many people waste time overanalyzing, hesitating, or making excuses about why they cannot do more. Instead of worrying about managing time, one should focus on expanding actions to fill as much time as possible with productive efforts. The common belief that people need a
If I lose my
work-life
next trade,
balance
then I
is
can't trade
another
tomorrow.
limiting idea.
But
Most
if I
individuals try
end
to
a day
separate
like this,
work and personal
then I can
time
trade some.
as if they are two completely different things.
So
However,
what do we do?
when someone is passionate about their goals, work and life blend together naturally.
Well, we're probably
Trying to
gonna run to
divide
this
them
fair value
only
gap down.
creates stress and frustration. People should not aim for balance. They should aim for success in all areas of life. The more success one has in work, the more freedom they gain in personal life. Rather than focusing on relaxing or slowing down, a better approach is to increase output and efficiency so that results improve faster. A major problem is that most people underestimate how much time and effort it actually takes to succeed. They set goals, but fail to calculate the level of commitment required. This is why many people get discouraged when results don't come quickly. The reality is that success takes much more time and action than expected. By understanding this, people can prepare themselves to operate at a higher level of intensity for extended periods. It is not about finding extra time, but about increasing effectiveness within the time already available. Instead of looking for shortcuts or waiting for the right moment, the best strategy is to dive in and keep pushing forward with continuous effort. Another mistake people make is believing that being busy means being productive. Just because someone is occupied with tasks does not mean they are moving toward their goals. Many spend time on unimportant activities, meetings, or distractions that do not contribute to real progress. Being truly productive means spending time only on actions that directly lead to results. The best way to do this is by setting clear priorities and eliminating everything that does not contribute to the bigger picture. The goal should always be to focus energy on things that create growth and expansion rather than simply keeping busy for the sake of feeling productive. The secret to achieving massive success is not about managing time better, but about increasing action to levels most people would never consider. Instead of worrying about how to fit everything into a schedule, the key is to expand effort and commitment beyond normal expectations. Those who achieve the most do not have extra hours in the day. They simply work harder, move faster, and take action without hesitation. The idea of time management creates a false belief that time is the problem when in reality, the real issue is a lack of intensity, urgency, and consistent effort. Chapter 18. Criticism is a sign of success. Criticism is something that comes naturally when someone decides to take massive action. People who stand out and do more than others will always attract attention, both positive and negative. Those who remain average or do the bare minimum rarely receive
App
criticism
is not
because they are not making
nothing,
a
man.
significant impact. The moment someone starts to
I
push
kind of
beyond
done it
normal
earlier in my
levels of
second
effort,
entry.
others begin to take notice. When some
Yeah,
will express their opinions, often
it's
in the
alright,
form
bro.
of negative comments. Most people fear criticism and try to avoid it at all costs. They believe that if others disapprove of their actions, they must be doing something wrong. However, this way of thinking is completely false. Criticism is actually a sign of growth and success. If nobody is talking, questioning, or challenging an individual's actions, it means they are not making enough noise. The more someone expands their influence, the more critics will appear. It is a natural part of achieving big goals. Criticism often comes from people who are uncomfortable with change. When someone starts taking massive action,
Can I throw?
those who are not willing to do the same feel threatened. Instead
Right,
of
bro.
improving their own efforts, they try to bring others down to their level. This is why many successful people are misunderstood, judged, and even attacked. It is not because they're doing something wrong, but because they are doing something different. It is important to never take criticism personally. Instead of seeing it as a reason to slow down or change direction, it should be viewed as proof of progress. The biggest mistake a person can make is to let negative comments affect their actions. If they start adjusting their goals to please others, they will lose their momentum. Instead, they should stay focused on their mission
No
and
worries.
continue working at 10 times the level of effort. Another important point is that successful individuals do not waste time defending themselves. When critics attack, it is tempting to respond, explain, or
Thinking
argue.
about these shorts,
However, this only takes away valuable time and energy. Instead of engaging in
but I have
pointless
to wait
discussions,
for it
the
to
best approach
go as
is to
high as
keep
it
moving
can.
forward. Let results speak
So I
louder
didn't
than
max out my
words.
love for the day.
People who criticize today may eventually become supporters once they see the undeniable success that comes from persistence. Sometimes, criticism can even be useful. While most negative comments come from a place of jealousy or fear, there are times when feedback can highlight areas for improvement. Instead of reacting emotionally, a smart person listens and determines if there is any truth in the criticism. If the feedback is valid, Adjustments can be made without losing confidence. However, if the criticism is baseless, it should be ignored completely. The fear of criticism stops many people from ever getting started. They worry about what others will think or say, so they stay within their comfort zones. This is one of the biggest reasons
I'm not
why
in, by the way.
so few people reach massive levels of success. If someone truly wants to achieve great things, they must develop the ability to ignore the noise and focus only on their goals. The truth is, no matter what someone does, there will always be people who disagree or disapprove. Trying to avoid criticism is a waste of time because it is impossible to please everyone. The most successful people in history have all faced massive criticism. The reason they succeeded was because they refused to let the opinions of others stop them. Instead of fearing criticism, they embraced it as a sign that they were on the right path. When criticism appears, it is an indication that someone is breaking through barriers and challenging the status quo. Instead of being discouraged, they should see it as confirmation that they are making an impact. Chapter 19: Customer Satisfaction is the Wrong Target. The idea that businesses should focus only on customer satisfaction is misleading. It creates a limited mindset that can slow down progress and success. Many believe that keeping customers happy should be the top priority, but this is not enough to achieve real growth. Instead of just aiming to satisfy customers, the real goal should be expansion, dominance, and reaching as many people as possible. A business that only focuses on satisfying existing customers may overlook the importance of gaining new ones. There is always a need to expand, find new customers, and make a bigger impact. The focus should not be on pleasing a small group of people, but on ensuring that the business continues to grow and reach more markets. If a business is not expanding, it is actually shrinking because competitors are always trying to take market share. The biggest companies in the world do not just work on keeping their customers happy. They're always looking for ways to grow their reach. A successful business makes sure it is known by as many people as possible. The more people who know about a product or service, the more customers it will have. Relying only on existing customers is risky because even the most loyal customers may stop buying at some point. Many businesses fail because they do not push hard enough to acquire new customers. They spend too much time focusing on service instead of growth. Of course, delivering a great product or service is important, but it is not enough to guarantee success. If a business is not constantly seeking new opportunities and reaching more people, it will struggle. The key is to keep expanding and never settle for what has already been achieved. Businesses should focus on making their presence known in every possible way. This means advertising, marketing, and making sure people see and hear about the brand everywhere. It is not enough to assume that satisfied customers will automatically spread the word. While word of mouth marketing is useful, it is not a reliable way to build a large and successful business. Active effort is needed to ensure the brand stays in front of new people all the time. Many small businesses fail because they do not operate with this mindset. They believe that if they provide a great service, customers will keep coming back and recommending them to others. But the reality is that people are constantly bombarded with choices. If a business
This
does
is gonna
not
be
keep
my last trade for
reminding
the day.
potential customers of its existence, it will eventually be forgotten. The most successful businesses do not just rely on customer satisfaction, they make sure they dominate their industry. Some believe that focusing too much on acquiring new customers will lead to a drop in service quality. But this is not true. A business can do both: expand aggressively while maintaining a high level of service. In fact, growth can lead to better service because it allows the business to invest in better systems, better employees, and better products. When a business stops growing, it usually starts declining. The key is to never become too comfortable. Just because customers are happy today does not mean they will stay forever. Competitors are always trying to attract them with better offers, new ideas, and stronger marketing. The only way to stay ahead is to be constantly expanding, finding new customers, and ensuring that the business is reaching more people every day. A business that wants to succeed in a big way must always aim for more than just customer satisfaction. It should aim for customer acquisition and industry domination. If people do not know about a product or service, they cannot buy it. If a business is not constantly looking for ways to expand, it will eventually be overtaken by those who do. The real goal should be to become the most recognized and trusted name in the industry. Chapter 20. Omnipresence is the only goal. Success does not come from being unknown or unnoticed. To dominate in any industry, it is necessary to become visible to as many people as possible. The more people who see, hear, and think about a product, service, or personal brand, the higher the chances of achieving success. This is not just about marketing. It is about ensuring that whenever someone needs a solution, they think of only one name. To reach this level, constant and aggressive action must be taken to be present on multiple platforms at all times. Most people make the mistake of assuming that having a great product or service is enough to attract customers. However, even the best product will fail if nobody knows about it. The market does not reward those who wait to be discovered. It rewards those who make themselves impossible to ignore. The only way to ensure long-term success is to be everywhere, on social media, in advertising and conversations,
This
and in
might
the
be my
mind of
last
your
trade.
potential customers.
Sorry, this will be
If
my
people
last
do
trade
not
for the
see a
day, but
name
this might be a
frequently,
loss.
they will not remember it when they need it. A common problem is that many businesses and individuals stop promoting themselves because they fear annoying people. They believe that if they appear too much, customers will get tired of them. This is a mistake. The reality is that people are exposed to thousands of messages every day, and they forget most of them. To make an impression, repetition is essential. The more someone sees a name, the more they trust it, even if they have never used its services before. Familiarity creates confidence, and confidence leads to action. It is not enough to focus on just one platform or one method of promotion. A business that only
Yeah,
relies on word of mouth or a personal
but
brand
uh,
that only
this
uses one social
president,
media channel is missing out on
that
countless
was that.
opportunities. The key is to be
I'll see
present
y'all
on
tomorrow.
every platform possible:
I'm not
television,
gonna be trading. I
radio,
don't trade on
social
Sundays and
media,
days.
emails, advertisements, events, and networking.
Yeah.
Every channel should be used to ensure